One thing that I've been thinking about a lot recently is this term I heard for the first time, and it's called moral injury. And as soon as I heard those words, it sparked in me like a recognition, a naming of something that I have smelled, I've seen, I've tasted, I know it, but never had a name for it before. Moral injury. Moral injury is sort of like PTSD, but it's got a different flavor to it, a different ownership to it. Let me give you an example. So moral injury is whenever somebody has to act or behave in a way that doesn't align with their values or their ethics. And that action or inaction that they take actually causes an injury of some sort. That then they can hold shame and guilt and have huge emotional distress over that morally injurious event. So here's an example. So say you're this 21-year-old, bright, enthusiastic, young person. You get a job at the gospel mission because you want to save lives, you want to help the hurting, and so you get a job working at one of our shelters, and you're working the night shift, and it's end of November, and it's minus 15 out, and you're working your first shift. You show up in your uniform, and the very first thing that you have to do is somebody rings the doorbell, and you have to go out to the front and open the door. And you see the person who's there, and you see them cold and hungry and shivering, and they're asking for a place to stay. And you have to tell them, sorry, the shelter's full tonight. There's no room for you here. You can't stay. And you have to turn that person away. That is a morally injurious event. That staff member goes away deeply affected. When you're exposed to moral injury repeatedly like that, it can be death by 1,000 paper cuts, and we see that emotional trauma weigh on people, and it begins to take an effect. So what I've been learning about moral injury that I think all of us deal with, it's not just our staff. I think that our community members, our business owners, people downtown, folks in Rutland, we're seeing homelessness increase in our city, and there's this prevailing sense of helplessness. Like people want to help, but they feel disempowered to do anything, or they don't know how. And I think as a society, we're starting to all suffer from this sense of sort of moral injury, where we're witnessing human suffering around us and are unable to do anything about it, and that causes a deep psychological injury. So what I've been learning about moral injury recently is the treatment. The way that moral injury is treated is with a lavish dose of self-forgiveness and grace, which is actually pretty challenging to do. So as we balance out our need to take action and to be the change and to stop human suffering wherever possible, we need to do that work passionately and unrelentlessly, relentlessly. And at the same time, we also need to have grace and forgiveness for ourselves when we give everything that we have and it's still not enough. The thing that I keep coming back to over and over, we steal from the AA community, and that's the serenity prayer. And I think it's really helpful for all of us in society. And it's simply this: it's, God, give me the courage to change what I can. Give me the serenity to accept the things that I can't. And give me the wisdom to know the difference. That's a prayer that I use all the time. And I offer that to you today, as well, as it might be helpful for you in whatever challenges that you see.